Do you keep reading about weight loss and other health benefits from a diet where you eliminate lectins? Is there any truth to the claim that a lectin-free diet can cure autoimmune disease and any other health problems? That's what we'll be talking about today on The Healthy View. So what exactly are lectins? According to the Mayo Clinic, lectins are naturally occurring proteins that are found in most plants. Some foods that contain higher amounts of lectins include beans, peanuts, lentils, tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, fruit, and wheat and other grains. Lectins serve as a protective function for plants as they grow. They don't have any nutritional value when they're consumed as foods. Although no scientific evidence shows that eliminating lectins will cure any medical disorders or conditions, your diet certainly can have an effect on the way you feel, especially if you have a chronic condition. I'm Lisa Luton, and I'm here with my beautiful and brilliant co-hosts, Andrew Beeman and Michelle Leota. We are all expert health coaches who've collectively helped thousands of people around the world get happier and healthier while staying sane and having fun. Michelle, what do you think about lectins?
Honestly, this falls into the category of stuff I don't pay any attention to anymore. You know, you hear about all different things, and I just kind of automatically ignore all of the weird fads and claims in the nutrition world. Like one of my clients the other day was like, Michelle, I heard that I shouldn't eat any carbs after 5 o'clock in the evening. Is that true? Oh my God, I've been doing everything wrong. And I'm like, what? Where does this stuff come from? So honestly, I've heard the lectin thing getting tossed around and my brain just turns off and I haven't given it a second thought. So Andrea, you're going to have to fill us in on this.
Well, I actually just wrote a blog on lectins because I kept getting emails from people asking, you know, what's your take on lectins? What's your take on the lectin-free diet? So here's my take on it. The lectin-free diet is, like Michelle said, the latest fad sweeping the nation. A former heart surgeon, Dr. Stephen Gundry, who's probably a very nice fella, implied that lectins are the main danger in the American diet. So anytime anyone, no matter who they are, espouses a diet that implicates one thing as the cause of all or most disease, I feel it's mostly a marketing ploy to create sensationalism to sell products or books. That's just my personal opinion. As Lisa mentioned, lectins are proteins in plants that are part of the plant's defense system to ensure that the seed makes it through the digestive system of the animal that it eats, that, you know, the animal eats it, it's going to make it through the digestive system so it can be planted in a pile of poop and potentially grow into a new plant, right? That's what it is. So Dr. Gundry is correct about lectins being dangerous, but that's only if you eat them raw. So raw or undercooked kidney beans, for example, contain a lectin that can cause red blood cells to clump together. It also produces nausea, vomiting, stomach upset, and diarrhea. So it's not good, right? Raw. But something to keep in mind is that the foods with the highest lectins, that's beans and grains, have the highest lectins, were never, ever traditionally eaten raw. At least not in, I mean, some modern people are going crazy with the raw sprouted grains and beans and all that stuff. Not for me. There's a reason why you've never seen a raw kidney bean salad on my website. It's toxic, right? So beans and grains and nuts and seeds were traditionally prepared in specific ways to make them easier to digest without any toxicity. And that includes soaking, boiling, pressure cooking, and stewing because lectins are water soluble. So you always remember to keep it simple. Cook and eat a wide variety of foods the way that they were traditionally prepared, and you'll be fine. Don't worry so much. That's just my opinion.
And really, who's eating raw kidney beans anyway? I mean,
not me.
God.
Some of the crazies, some of the crazies out there.
Right. So I'm going to be honest, this is an area that I don't get into with my clients either. I try to take the stress out of eating. And this is another example of something that just totally stressed me out, because when you're paying such close attention to things like this, it is very stressful when whether it's counting calories or avoiding lectins or even nightshades for some people. So I always go back to this same eat real food. Now, I just learned something interesting, because for those of you or me who have digestive issues, we're often told eat your food cooked, more often than raw. And so what Andrea just explained so much around that, why we need to cook our food. And so if you do have digestive issues, pay attention not only to those foods mentioned, but to other foods too. It might be just too much for your digestive system. And then the only other thing is, if you are dealing with some chronic conditions, it's okay to experiment. Like, you don't have to be like a die-hard advocate of a plan to say, I'm going to just try it and see how I feel, without being attached to that this is the only way to go. And I feel that way with any dietary plan. Feel free to try it, experiment. If it feels good, awesome. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. At least you just tried. Those are my thoughts.
And the thing is, as soon as someone makes a choice that they perceive as a healthy choice, whether it's not eating lectins or drinking their celery juice, you are more likely, this has been proven, you're more likely to make other healthful choices. And then you feel good. So, hey, whatever works for you. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. And we are much more into common sense than fad-driven diets. So if there are other weird ideas floating around out there that you would like our take on, feel free to float them by us. You can find The Healthy View on Facebook. That's a great place to ask. We'd also be very grateful for your review on iTunes. Just search for The Healthy View and leave a star rating and written review so we can get more common sense in front of more people in the world, because, yeah, they need it. We will see you next time.